Years ago, my daughter, Sarah, 37, had a fling with a man she met on a trip. She got pregnant with twins, decided to keep them. She's been a single mom since. She's always been flaky, but she's a great mom and the kids have a good stable life. Lately, the twins, Ben and Matt, 11, have been asking a lot about their biofather. They're curious, but Sarah refuses to speak of him. She only says their time together was brief and she really didn't know him. Matt and Ben want some of those DNA kits for Christmas. They're kids, but I know they're serious on this search. I told Sarah this is going a bit too far, and she needs to be open with them. Throughout the years, I've tried to encourage her to contact him for the kids' benefit. After arguing for a while, she admitted she's afraid he will reject them. What if he doesn't want to know them? She doesn't want to put the kids through that. I said, he's not a 20-year-old broke college student anymore. He is a homeowner, has a stable job. He even fostered a little girl that had no place to go. I think he could be a good father to the kids if you gave him a chance. She asked how did I know all that, and I told her the truth. I hired a private investigator to look for him the moment she told me she was pregnant, and I've been keeping tabs on him ever since, just in case she ever changed her mind. She was furious, told me I had no right to do that in the first place, and asked me to leave. On the way out, the twins begged me to tell them everything, and send a message to their father for them. I'll admit I was upset. At home, I sent him a message telling him all. I tried reaching out to Sarah and the kids, but they ignored me for days. He must have contacted Sarah because she called yelling at me that I went over her head, and this wasn't my decision to make. I told her the kids deserve to know where they come from. Besides, they're his kids too. My son is mad at me too, saying I handled this all wrong. Not only putting a strain in my relationship with Sarah, but maybe dropping a bomb on that fella's life, which I found absurd. He is single. If anything, it's a chance for him to step up and be a dad. So, Reddit. Am I the a-hole? Edit to answer a few things I see popping up. I'm the grandfather. The relationship was consensual, but it was a one-night stand kind of thing. She never told him she was pregnant. She felt she was ready to be a mom and that he was too young to really help. All the info I have of him was public, or so I was told. Edit 2. You all gave me a lot to think about. I decided to give Sarah and the kids some space. I will help them any way I can, but some time apart might be good for us. Despite what some of you think, I do love my daughter. I had good intentions, but that's not enough. I was reckless and petty. Right now I can only try to be better in the future. Might not be enough, but that's all I got. You're the a-hole. Nothing wrong with keeping tabs on him and telling Sarah what he was up to and encouraging her to let the boys know more about him and to let him know about his kids. For everything else, wow. You majorly overstepped. It absolutely wasn't your decision to make to contact the father and tell him everything. You don't just get to roll over other people, your daughter, because you think you know better than they do. If you couldn't convince your daughter to tell the boys about their father and vice versa, you needed to bite your tongue and wait until the children were older. At 18, if they still wanted to know, you could tell them. Not their father, but them, and let them decide what they wanted to do about contact or not. Unpopular opinion, but not the a-hole. Yes, the way you handled it was wrong. No one can argue otherwise. But he is their father and deserves the right to know that they exist. You looked into him when she was pregnant and made sure that he was no threat to her or the twins. You wanted to protect them like any loving grandparent would do. The twins want to know him, and if their mom keeps them away with that possessive mindset, she's only going to drive them away in the future. Now, contacting him behind her back is crossing the line. You should have let it settle for a couple of days later before going back to talk to her again. Everyone sucks here but the father of the twins. Sarah for not telling him when she got pregnant or in the years afterwards. Also for not telling the kids anything about him. But this was not your decision to make. Haha. My 25 male sister Ames turns 9 next August, and I'm planning a full trip to Teotihuacan in Mexico City because my sis has always dreamed about going there and seeing the pyramids. We're Mexicans on my mom's side. For some context, my parents had my sister when I was 16, but when I turned 18 and was leaving for university, we found out that my mother had been cheating for the past 5 years and was having a kid with the other man. My dad did a paternity test, and Ames was indeed his daughter. Then my mom married her cheating piece and had Julia, my half-sister. My mom sent me a single message after the divorce and told me that she loved me, but that dad had made her life awful, and that she was happy with her new family. She had 2 stepkids from her husband, Julia, and had Ames during the weekends. Every time I came back from my breaks, I stayed with my dad and saw my sis every week. She used to tell me that while my mom and her husband never treated her bad, the preference for Julia was big enough to notice. For Ames' birthday, my mom would usually just buy a cake, blow the candle, the 2 of them, and then call my dad and me. But for Julia, they would throw big parties with her 2 brothers and all of her dad's family. Every time my dad did a party for Ames, my mom never stayed too long, and my sis just didn't enjoy her birthday. I met Julia 2 years ago after my mom messaged me again, congratulating me for my new job, and asked if I would want to meet them for dinner the next time I came back home. I said yes because I really missed her, and to be honest, she does look more happy now, fresher and dull. Julie is a good kid, and I've nothing against her, but I'm just not interested in forming a relationship at this point. Since then, I've been visiting my mom a lot more. I came back a week ago because my dad got awfully sick, and I took some time to take care of him. I drove to my mom's house to pick Amez up, and she told me to wait in the kitchen because she had something to tell me. While there, my mom mentioned that my sister was so excited for the trip to Mexico next year, and that she had good news. Apparently, her husband agreed to let me take Julia too, and said that it would be an amazing opportunity to bond, and that Julia would be so happy. I told her that I wasn't taking Julia, because it was Amez's birthday gift, and it was only the two of us. She said that she understood, but that Julia heard while Amez told my aunt, my mom's sister, the other day, and asked if she could go too, and I said sorry, but no. My mom got mad and told me that I was acting like a bad brother for making preferences. But I said that it's not making preferences, that this was Amez's birthday gift, and I asked her if she consulted it with my sister. But she said that we were the adults, and the decision was up to us. So I told her that if it was the case, then the answer was no. She told me that then I had to tell Julia the news, and I said that it wasn't my responsibility because we never invited her. Not the a-hole. You're totally right in what you did. Your mother is trying to manipulate you into bringing Julia. Example, she told me I had to tell Julia the news. Not the a-hole. You aren't obligated to take anybody you don't want to on a trip. Your sister isn't obligated to share her birthday trip with Julia either. And you don't have to have a relationship with anybody you don't want to. Should you try to bond with your younger half-sister? I mean, yeah, probably. She's probably going to grow up with a complex about being the half-sibling had as the result of an affair, and bonding with her at some point would be the nice thing to do. But it should be on your terms. Logistically, adding another young child is extra work and extra expense. Who's expected to foot the bill for Julia's portion of the trip? You? It seems like this is more about your mom trying to absolve herself of her own guilt than genuine concern about you having a relationship with Julia. At least from my perspective. Not the a-hole. It's your sister's B-day. And as you've mentioned, your mom made it perfectly clear how she thinks of her while throwing your half-sister extravagant parties. You've already made it clear you don't intend to form a relationship with her, so she's not your responsibility. You've been nice to her clearly, but you didn't personally invite her. It's rude that your mom made her own invitation when she's most likely not planning to pay for anything. Just keep the trip between just you and your sister, in my opinion. Ha! My ex, male 49, and I, female 39, have two beautiful children together, female 11 and male 10. We were never married. Ex is now married and he has two children, male 8, male 6, with his wife Katie, female 32. My current husband, male 40, has two children, male 9 and male 7, from a previous marriage. They live half the time with us. My children live full time with us. I hope it wasn't too confusing. I just wanted to provide details about our family. I want to say that we all get along fairly well, or at least we try. I run my own business and I make a decent living. Thing is, my ex's wife has been hinting for the longest time that I treat her children differently from my children, and even from my stepchildren who, according to her, not even related to me. With treating them differently, she meant money-wise, because I can't understand what else it could be. I've made sure that my children have good relationships with their half-siblings, and they love them very much. They're great children. This became obvious last weekend when Katie called me livid, saying that I was mistreating her children. Her youngest had his birthday, and since I know he loves Cobra Kai, I sent him a Miyagi-Do t-shirt, which according to my daughter, he was very happy about. Katie, however, was livid because I always buy expensive gifts for my children and stepchildren. I told her that her children weren't my responsibility, but that my children and stepchildren are. She and my ex are, however, and children should live by what their parents can afford and provide. Well, she was even angrier, called me callous and vindictive, so I ended the conversation. I haven't answered her or my ex, and I don't want to read their messages because from the little I read, they're both very angry with me. I still don't think what I did was wrong, or what I told her was wrong, but I don't know. It got me thinking and wondering. So, am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. It's wonderful that you work at having a positive co-parenting relationship with your ex and his wife, but his family is not your family, and you are not responsible for his children with his wife. It was exceptionally generous of you to get their child anything at all for his birthday, and my mind is blown that they think you didn't do enough. Maybe you should draw them a diagram to show them what you are and are not responsible for. I'm kinda confused. Why does your ex's wife expect you to take care of kids that aren't yours, let alone his? How is providing for your own children wrong? Realistically, you didn't even have to gift her son anything, considering he isn't your kid or your stepkid. So why exactly is she mad? I think when she met my ex, she thought he was the one with the money and was expecting a totally different life. I don't know, just speculations. Not the a-hole. You have no relation to these kids. You are not their stepmother. They are your children's step-siblings. Other than encouraging a positive relationship between the sets of children, which you are doing, you have no responsibility toward your ex's children. My daughter C is graduating college and has a limited amount of tickets. I've been with my partner for over 10 years. He has practically done everything for her and her sister J because they have a deadbeat dad who's not contributed anything to their education or anything else. My partner, on the other hand, has done everything a father should do for them. When C started to drive, he got her a car. When she started college, she went to college with a Jeep Wrangler, just to show the things C has done over the years. Now to the issue. Since C only got 6 tickets for graduation, she said it would be her sister J, my mom, her 2 best friends, K and J, her adopted godfather, F, and myself. A few days ago we found out that J could not attend, so I was like, okay, M, my partner can go. Now today she sent me a text saying she does not want him to go. She wants her adoptive godmother to go. Now, understand, I have nothing against the godmother. The godparents are wonderful people. They are actually her sister Jay's godparents, but they treat her as their goddaughter too, because just like her father, her godparents are deadbeats. Now, the problem is she is telling everyone how effed up of a person I am for telling her to invite M to her graduation, so we've argued about this, and she thinks I'm wrong for being upset. But the reason for me being upset is more that I'm disappointed in her for not respecting someone who has done so much for her. Example. Cars, vacations, and money. He has treated both my kids as if they were his children. C is 22, lives at home, and only pays her and my cell phone bills. She had moved out when she was 18 to live with her boyfriend. Things didn't work out, and she moved back home, so we redid the basement for her. She has her own space. My partner M built everything for her. Today I was so upset, I told her I'd give her 6 months to start paying rent or move out. So am I the a-hole for feeling this way? Edit 1. When she found out one of her BFFs could not attend, she told me and we discussed M attending, and she said yes. At first she did not want my mom to go, she wanted M to go. Then she changed her mind to my mom. So when her BFF could not attend, and she said M could, and now she changed her mind again. 2. They have a good relationship, and no, he is not a perv with my kids. 3. Found out from my younger daughter Jay that she asked him not to go because he would just sit there quietly. He is a lot older. 4. Her paying her car insurance was discussed many times, but she never paid anything. Rent was discussed also, and she asked for another year. I just made it 6 months after this disrespect. You're the a-hole. Your partner wasn't uninvited. He just wasn't invited in the first place, and you tried to invite him with her tickets. If you want to punish her for wanting to choose who goes to her graduation, that's your choice, but don't be shocked when she moves out and has low contact with you. You're the a-hole. She had limited tickets. She can choose whoever she is closest to. Obviously, your boyfriend doesn't make her top 6. Guilting her with rent is an a-hole move, and will damage the relationship she has with your partner. Rent shouldn't be used as a punishment. This is hard. C can invite anyone she wants to her graduation, but it is messed up that she is not inviting a man who has been a father figure and done a lot for her. She could at least find another ticket for him. But to say invite him or start paying rent is a mess too. I'm going with everyone sucks here, but only because you decided this based on her not inviting him. If this was something you made mandatory after graduation anyway, then I'd say not the a-hole. I have 5 brothers and 4 sisters-in-law. I get along with 3 of them wonderfully, and the 4th one just okay. No beef or anything. Until now. She just isn't as social as the rest of us, and keeps to herself a lot. We have a family group chat with us siblings and spouses that she doesn't participate in much, but I know she reads everything. Also, I live in a touristy area that is getting ready to amp up for the year. I posted in the group chat that my in-laws were taking my daughter to another state to visit family, and how excited I was for her to go, but also how excited I was for the alone time. I took my daughter to meet my in-laws and stopped for food on my way home, with the plan to open all my patio doors, enjoy the breeze and sounds, and watch TV all night. I get home and drop the food on the counter, go into my bedroom to put my PJs on. I hear someone banging on my patio doors, and I walk out of the bedroom, and it's sister-in-law number 4, with 3 other women that I don't know. They have suitcases, and are all trying to open my door. I go to one door and open it slightly, and ask, "What's up?" And my sister-in-law says that when she saw I was going to be kid-free for a few days, she decided to plan a girls' trip, and come keep me company. I say, without asking if I wanted company, because I don't. One of her friends says, "You didn't make sure this was okay?" Sister-in-law says, "We're family. I don't need to check." To which I reply, "Oh, no, you absolutely should have checked, because I would have told you no." Sister-in-law says, "Well, we're here now, so let us in." I say, "No, that's okay. I'm not up for company, especially four of you." Sister-in-law says, "But you have 3 guest rooms." I reply, "No, one is daughter's room, one is my office, and one is a guest room for invited guests, which you are not. Please go away." Then I closed the curtain that I had put up mainly for decoration, and I wasn't even sure if they would cover all the windows. She knocked on my patio doors for about 15 minutes before they left. I blocked her on everything so I could enjoy the night. My brother called and asked me what happened, and I told him. He said that his wife had told him that I invited her. After me asking him if he really thought I was the kind of person who would invite 4 people to stay with me when I didn't know 3 of them, he just said he would take care of it. She's now very mad at me and is telling anyone who will listen that I embarrassed her in front of her friends, and she's never going to forgive me. Pretty sure I don't care, though. I just wanted to enjoy my extended weekend alone. So, am I the a-hole for not letting uninvited guests ruin my extended alone weekend? Not the a-hole. Who invites themselves and their friends to someone else's house without asking for permission from the homeowner? She was way out of line, and she embarrassed herself. Not the a-hole. Wow, what a bizarre invasion. I wonder if she doesn't have kids yet, because most parents would understand that sometimes all a parent wants to do when the kid is away is enjoy the resulting peace. Not the a-hole, and I would have immediately called the brother she's married to and asked him if he knew this was happening. Let him call her and deal with the annoyance, and be right there with you in terms of, I can't believe she pulled this crap.